Hey guys, welcome to economics. I'm not letting you see my face today. Okay, well, it's because it's really not necessary. And so anyway, here we are. Okay, so welcome to economics. We're in chapter 6 for today. Next week you're going to be in your chapter 5 review, but we're just starting chapter 6, so there's no review on that next week for evaluation week, okay? The title of this chapter is called The Good That Competition Does. We're going to be studying sections 1 and 2 today with some questions at the end. You might look at the title and say, the good that competition does. What if competition isn't good, right? I know that you guys can be, very discerning, and sometimes this is a very, persuasive title, okay? So I want to just show you that, point that out to you, that you got to be careful if you use a title like this, the good that competition does. Because automatically you could put some people to the defensive, right? You can say, well, maybe I don't agree with competition. Maybe I think competition shouldn't be in the economy, et cetera, right? And so just to point out, the reason why the people in the book had confidence to use the good that competition does is because they've already spent 5 chapters trying to convince you and thinking that they've already convinced you, that's why you keep reading the book, that competition is a good thing. What kind of economic system does competition go with? The market system, the free market system, right? Okay, that's capitalism. That's where we live in, not communism and socialism. Okay, so that's what we're going to be studying today. What is the good that competition does? Make sure you take some notes. We're going to be looking at number 1, healthy competition. Number 2, what would happen if there were no competition. And number 3, what is perfect competition? Okay, that doesn't mean like the best. It's like a literal term used for certain industries about what type of competition they have. Do you guys know what the word industry means? Just to make sure that we understand what that word is, it's a group of businesses that produce similar products or similar services. So if you didn't know what an industry was, make sure you write that down. And industries like the music industry, the technology industry, the clothing industry, the beauty industry. Okay, it's any type of general term for all the businesses that are producing similar products or services. So technological industry are those creating cell phones, computers, all the technology that we see. So it's a huge, huge industry. You've got your movie industry. Beauty industry would be your salons, but also your hair products, your makeup, and different stuff like that. So there's all different kinds of industries. And there's one type of industry that works, or there's many types of industries that work for what's called perfect competition, and we'll get into that today. And then get into some different ones like monopolies and oligopolies and stuff like that next time. So first of all, let's start with defining what the word competition is. Competition is the human tendency to excel and achieve. Okay, it's natural, yes or no. We're all built and all created with some kind of competitive drive inside of us. It's a tendency to excel and to achieve things. So what is healthy competition? That's part number 1 today. Healthy competition is is a natural kind of thing. We want to, like I just defined it, we want to excel, we want to get better. It's natural. Number 2, it improves qualities of goods and lowers prices, okay? Healthy competition, that means one that it'll be done here in your notes, that doesn't create like envy and jealousy and dishonesty and getting what you want no matter what you do for it kind of competition. Healthy competition is saludable. Healthy competition is just where we keep trying to be better. We keep trying to improve, right? So allowing competition into an economy improves the quality of goods and lowers the prices. Why? Because if you're not the only business that's producing a good or providing a service, and the business across the street can do the same thing but at a better quality or at a better price, then what are you going to do? You're going to improve your quality or you're going to lower your price to compete and also get customers, right? So producers and consumers participate in competition. Producers is the most obvious one. Anybody that's a producer, any store, anybody supplying the consumer with what they want if they buy it, right, has to compete for the consumer's attention and especially for the consumer's dollar, okay? They have to compete in the market. You guys know that. Name one marca that you like. Why do you like it? Because the quality is good or the price is good, right? Or the look is good, or because famous people like that one too. Like, they have to compete. They have to involve famous people. They have to make their style the moda of the day, right? They have to put their price like everybody else's price and then a little bit lower because they have to compete for you, right? But consumers compete too. They want to be the first ones to find the good price. They want to be the first one to buy from that market. They want to be the one that can to be wearing the market that some famous person wears. They have to compete to always be finding the best quality and the best price. You guys, I know girls at least do it. I don't know if boys do it yet, but all adults do it basically, but especially among girls. It's like half the conversations. Where did you get that shirt? How much was it? I want one. Were there different colors? I love that perfume. Where did you get it? Etc., right? Everyone's competing. Not in an unhealthy, negative, jealousy way. In a healthy way that keeps helping the producers, obviously, right? A lot of people say, look at the fourth point down. A lot of people say that the problem with capitalism is that there's winners and there's losers, right? That like the rich people are the winners and the poor people are the losers. But honestly, if a competitive economy actually works the way that it's supposed to, it helps winners and losers. How? How do you think it helps winners and losers? Well, look what it says right there. It helps winners and losers to win. So that's winners and losers according to society, right? Those that are rich and those that are poor, etc., etc. It helps everyone to win because the benefits are for everybody. Look, it doesn't matter who influenced the tienda that you like to lower their prices, but you're going to enjoy the lowered prices. It doesn't matter who influenced the tienda that you like to make their marca super, super excelente, super, super great quality, because you get to walk in there and enjoy that great quality too. So no matter what changes are made because of remember the invisible hand that Adam Smith talks about, you get to enjoy it, whether or not you were involved in making that decision for them. Okay, remember the market signals that we learned before. Look at the fifth point down. It makes possible a better standard of living for everyone in a prosperous society. Guys, most prosperous societies are capitalistic. There are not many prosperous societies that are socialistic. Why? Because socialistic and communistic societies do not allow competition. So there's no incentive, there's no motive to improve your quality of good or to improve your prices. Okay? You're going to also find out that inside capitalistic economies, there are monopolies. Monopolies are basically like the communistic part of a capitalistic society a little bit, but not to be so tan fuerte about it. But like, think about Rayco. Rayco doesn't have to improve its prices. Rayco doesn't really even have to improve its quality. Why? Because there's no competition. Okay? So imagine that everywhere was like that. There's only, what if there was only one grocery store that you could buy, only one supermercado, only one place that you could buy ropa, right? Only one place that you could get your hair cut, only one place that you could get your car fixed. Then they would not have to compete with the other things. They wouldn't have to compete for you, and the quality would be low and the prices would be high. Okay, so competition is important. And the last one says it only remains healthy when that competition does not lead to envy or jealousy and that your motives are right. Okay, so as Christians especially, if you go out and you're a business owner, you start your own business or you're part of a business, you have to make sure that no matter how crazy the competition gets, you need to do what's right. you need to have integrity. You know, Paula right now, not to like embarrass you or anything, Paula, but Paula right now, you have your own business, right? And yes or no, you have competition. There's other people that try to sell the same product, right? And you have to make a decision. So talking with everybody, right? She has to make a decision that is she going to have integrity? Is she going to copy off that person? Is she going to do what's right even when those people try to copy exactly what she's trying to do and take her customers, right? You have to have integrity. There's one company, because it reminds me of that, there's a company in the United States that sells makeup, right? This company, there's people that sell it here, Mary Kay. The Mary Kay has a policy, and I think this is so cool. Individuals sell Mary Kay, right? They go around and to their friends, their family, and their neighbors and everybody else and try to sell makeup, right? And so they are their own business owners. Mary Kay is the big marca, and then they allow people to become business owners and create their little Mary Kay business. They have a rule, you guys. They have a rule that you can never, ever steal somebody else's clientes. So like, let's say that your friend or somebody in your church also sells Mary Kay. You cannot sell to that person, to other people in your church that person has sold to before. Okay? So like, I have two friends that are that sell Mary Kay, but I'm only going to buy from one because you're not allowed to steal people's clients. It's a rule that the company has. And it's a super important rule, guys. It's a super important standard that there is healthy competition, but you don't let envy, jealousy, and and your bad motives get in the way. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard because there is so much competition that you're not trying to copy somebody else, that you're not trying to take away their clients, but at the same time, it's competition, right? Then we talk about, let's say, let's use Celio, not to embarrass Sally, right? But let's use Celio, who learned the business that he has from somebody else that mentored him, and then started his business and created competition with other fumigating companies, right? Is that a bad thing? No, because competition is good. And he didn't do it out of envy, out of jealousy, out of bad motives to destroy somebody else's business, right? Okay, but here's on the other hand. I live in a small town. There is the store that had a family that like made like copies and had like, you know, like the digital print stores, right? Print things for you, but print like nice products and stuff like that. There was a family from another town who had another store like that in their town, but they wanted to expand and go into our town too. And they put their building right in front of the other family's building, doing the same product, the same service. Now, guys, in a small town, that's not justo. That's not nice to do. Okay, so you have to be careful about the competition and keeping it with integrity. Okay, you look at Electromundo, that's what it's called, right? With Angelo and with Kelly, right? Your families. They have to make decisions every day. They're not the only one with those products. But it's okay to try to be on top. It's okay to try to be the number one store, as long as you always do it with integrity and honesty and not out of bad motives, okay? So you don't have to feel bad about being the best. You don't have to feel bad about being the one with the most sales. But you have to make sure that behind the scenes, you're always doing what is right. Okay, that's healthy competition. And especially as Christian business owners, we should go out there and have integrity and share God's love. Do you think God's going to honor that? Yeah. Do you think that your business sometimes is going to have hard times? Well, of course it's always going to have hard times. But God's going to honor the integrity. I really like this quote from Winston Churchill. You guys remember him? He was the Prime Minister of England during World War II. Listen to his sarcasm. It's interesting. It says the inherent vice of capitalism. This was a quote about people that thought capitalism was the worst thing ever because it made rich people richer and poor people poorer, right? But it said the inherent vice, the inherent bad thing about capitalism is the unequal sharing of blessings. And the inherent virtue, virtud, that's sarcasm, of socialism is the equal sharing of misery, of being miserable. Okay, so what was he saying? Look, to all you people who think that capitalism is so bad because it unequally shares blessings, so there's richer people and poorer people, then you must love socialism, that lets everybody be miserable together, basically is what he was saying. Because, yeah, in capitalism, there's rich and there's poor. But remember what I told you. Everybody enjoys the higher quality and lower prices that come out of capitalism. So just really quick to read this story that came out of the book. It says, more than 800 years ago before Christ was born, there lived in a rural region of Greece a poor farmer named Hesiod, who was a poet and a wise man. Definitely from Greece, right, with that name Hesiod. In his long poem, Works and Days, Hesiod declared that there are two different kinds of competition. The evil sort of competition that produces deception, quarrels, which are contiendas, and wars, but the good competition has been put into human nature by God and is meant for the improvement of mankind. Isn't that cool? I love that. Is meant for the improvement of mankind. Healthy competition leads people to work hard and produce good things, such as good crops and good poems. Here is the way Hesiod expresses ancient truth in his poetry. We're not going to read that because it's very abstract. Just keep going. In other words, nearly everybody wishes to be at least as well off as those around them. Okay, so everybody wants to be at least as good as the people around them, right? Hesiod pointed out that when we see other men and women succeeding in their work, we strive to succeed as they do. So look, it's not out of envy or jealousy, guys. It's just a natural thing. This contest or competition rooted in human nature results in high achievement. It does motivate us, you guys. It does. That's why, like, even in school, we try to, say, who had the best grades, stuff like that. It's not for jealousy. It's not for envy. It's to push everybody to be a little bit better. Farmers improve their land when they see other farmers doing well. Potters compete to turn out useful and beautiful products, and blacksmiths engage in contests to turn out articles of iron. Even beggars would like to be as successful as the more prosperous beggars. Hesiod's verses confirm that competition was strong among the Greeks, even near the dawn of their history. Samuel Johnson, who compiled one of the first great dictionaries of the English language, said that a man is seldom more innocently occupied than when he is engaged in making money. Unlike the fierce competition of war or the desperate competition of corrupt politics, economic competition is beneficial. Not all individuals or communities are equally competitive. There are some people who voluntarily seek peaceful lives with little competition. In America, a few religious groups, such as the Amish, abstain from many forms of competition. But that's why they're old-fashioned still. In various parts of the world, they survive old-fashioned economic systems in which competition plays only a small part. One example is in the life of the Hebrides off the coast of Scotland, where many inhabitants are small crofters or people who cultivate small plots of land and live very simply, etc., etc. But it goes down, it says, most people, however, actively seek to contest their economic skills against others. Okay, so it is healthy and it is natural and it pushes us all to be better if we use competition in the economy. So what if there were no competition? That's part number 2. If there were no competition, no markets would exist for the exchange of goods. Okay? Because think about it. That would be like, let's take football for instance. What if the National League of Football announced that there was not going to be any more competition? Well, then there's no games, which means there's no stadium. Okay? It's the same thing about markets. If there were no competition, there would be no markets. Think about it in Cuba and Russia and different places like that. There's not competition, you guys. You go to one place and you buy your stuff. And what's there is there, and what's not is not. Okay? So it's not like you make a list and say, like, I'm going to get these things today. No, you go in there and you see what there is, and then you have to make your food from that. Because there's no competition. There's no motive for keeping your inventory, your inventario, right? There's no motivation for anything. You just go in there, see what you can buy, and come out because there's no market. Look what it says in the next one. Out of the competition among suppliers and consumers emerges the market's equilibrium price for every good. Okay, so if there were no competition, there would be no good price, because there would be no incentive to find a good price. And economists normally recognize 4 main types of market models. Okay, that's what we're going to go into. So where there is a market, there are 4 different kinds of markets. There's a perfect competition, a monopoly, a monopolistic competition, and an oligopoly. I think I spelled that wrong. Oligopoly is what those are called. Okay, so that's okay because we'll get into that one next week. Anyway, I think I got a little excited about my syllabus. Okay, so those are the 4 that we're going to be talking about, but only today we're going to be talking about the perfect competition. So here we go, perfect competition. Perfect competition is the purest form of competition and is sometimes called the pure competition. Okay, so it is the purest form of competition, but it's not really the most common one, you guys. In order to have a perfect competition, look what you need. There must be a large number of independent sellers within an industry for whose goods exist a vast demand. I'll let you write that down. What that means, guys, is that the number of firms, okay, the number of businesses supplying the same type of good is so big that each business can only supply a tiny percentage of the total amount of product, okay? So that means it's like your business doesn't even make that big of a difference. There's so many different businesses selling this product. That there is such a good supply of it. Okay, so to understand that there must be a large number of independent sellers. So there must be many businesses involved, many people selling these products in order to be in perfect competition. Okay, and that makes sense, you guys. Think about it. There's not perfect competition here with lights. Well, no, there's no competition. There's not perfect competition here with supermercados. There's not a ton of supermercados, okay? So it's not perfect competition. Number 2, there must be a large number of independent buyers wishing to purchase this good. So that means it must be in demand. There must be plenty of people that want to buy it. It means it's not like a small group of people buys the entire thing. Number 3, the industry must be one in which all firms produce a standardized product. That means that there's virtually no difference among the goods available for sale. Consumers make their purchases based solely on price and not on any product differentiation. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. In the United States, we have in here too. Okay, here too, guys. You sell vegetables, or you sell grano, or you sell coffee, or different stuff like that. But coffee, actually, there is a difference in the product. But grano, okay? It doesn't matter if I buy my integral, my wheat from one farm over here or another farm over here. There's literally no difference among the goods available for sale, okay? You might just end up buying from one farm because you like that family, you're friends with that family, they asked you first, etc., etc. But all in all, there's virtually no difference. And there's so many people selling grano They're not the only ones. So they literally check off every one of these things. There's a large amount of people that sell grano. There's a large amount of people that want to buy it, and there's virtually no difference among the product. Let's keep going. Also, firms must have free access to the market. That means that they must be able to enter or exit the market as they want without significant obstacles. Okay, so grano again. If you have a farm, you can enter the market. And number 5, the relevant market information must be available to all firms and buyers. Everyone in the market knows what prices the firms are charging and what prices consumers are paying. Grano again. Everyone's going to know what everyone is buying grano at right now, okay? And you're not going to go and buy and sell it at a different price. Look, here's an example. Oops, the example's not coming, but it's going to come about the grano. It says, in a perfect competition, no individual seller or buyer has enough influence, okay? Think about Eldon. He has influence, okay? That's not a perfect competition. Has enough influence to noticeably affect the equilibrium price of the goods traded there, okay? So it's not the businesses that are going to affect the price. Each firm in the market is known as a price taker because it literally has no real control over the price it receives for the product. It takes whatever price it can get, okay? That means it is the buyer that's going to have the power. What are people buying grano at right now, okay? And the people have to take it. The farmers have to take it. The farmers can't say, well, no, I want to sell mine for more. You can't sell yours for more. No one's buying it. And if you try to sell yours for more, what's going to happen? You're out of the market because they're going to find some other farm to go buy it from. You're not a special product, okay? So when you are in a perfect competition, okay, that's not like, Powell, you're not in a perfect competition. Angela and Kelly, your family aren't in a perfect competition. Sally is not in a perfect competition. There aren't like a million people doing what they do, okay? But like grano and farmers and stuff like that, they're price takers because they have to take whatever the market is giving them for the price. They can't be advertising their own prices because people are going to go to a different farm to get the same exact product for a lower price, okay? So you become a price taker. It doesn't mean that it's a bad business to be in. It's a great business to be in, okay? Because it might be a steady business. It might be very stable, okay? So it's not bad to be a price taker, but you have to understand that you don't have the control over your prices. Nor can you like make your product more special in order, like, iPhone makes their product special so that they can sell it. Okay, that's not a perfect competition. And that can't happen in a price taker, in a perfect competition. In a perfectly competitive market, the only way a firm can make additional money is to increase its total production or decrease its cost of doing business. Okay, so look, in a perfectly competitive market, you're not getting the money based on whether or not you raise your prices. You're getting additional money if you can increase your production, you can produce more that people are going to buy, or decrease your cost of doing business, decrease your number of employees, decrease how much you spend on enviando your stuff, decrease how much luz you use, decrease your expenses, okay? That's the only way they're going to be making more money. So like I said, the example is the grain market. So again, with the price taker thing, they say that if you don't like the price, you have to be out of the market. That's your only choice, okay? So here's an example given. Every year, Jonathan Brownstone, like many other Nebraskan farmers, plants many fields of wheat, okay, integral, grano, hoping to obtain a good price for his crop after he harvests it. Even though Farmer Brownstone annually grows hundreds of acres of wheat, the amount of grain he produces is only a tiny fraction of the total number of acres devoted to the production of wheat across the country. Brownstone subscribes to the Farm Journal, and that's a magazine, and various other agricultural magazines and newspapers from which he keeps up with market trends. Okay, so he has to watch it. He has to watch what people are paying for grano. And he pays close attention to the price buyers pay for wheat. He knows that if other farmers are selling their crops for $3.95 per bushel, there is no reason for him to ask for $4 for his wheat. Buyers would have no interest in buying from him what they could obtain elsewhere for less. his wheat is the same as everyone else's wheat, and no one would really miss it. On the other hand, Farmer Brownstone would have no incentive to sell his wheat for $3.80 either, because buyers are willing to buy as much wheat as he wants to sell at the market price of $3.95. If Brownstone were one of only a few farmers in the country, or if there were only a few buyers, or if farmers and wheat buyers were unaware of what others were paying for wheat, then prices would vary and the wheat market would not be so competitive. Okay, so it wouldn't be a pure competition then. But it is. It's a pure competition because they just have to take the price that buyers are willing to pay. They can't do anything about it. So here are some questions. You do not have to write your questions down, but what you can do is stop your video, answer these questions, and then move on, okay? I'm not going to really go over the questions. You can just stop it and answer them. Okay? Here are the other ones. And that's it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.